You're watching Taste the Victory. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are joined by Haze, who is the ultimate Mastemon coper. Got 8th place at the Philadelphia Regional for Digimon, so it's a really experienced Master player, given all the insight. He got some crazy tech, crazy splice for Mastemon in the Booster Set 9 format. So Haze, can you go ahead and give us an introduction to this deck?
Yep, sure. So starting off with the eggs, nothing has changed in terms of the eggs. We do 4 DemiMeramon and then 1 Nyaro. Still 5 eggs because security control is a thing, and we have to be able to keep pumping out the rookies. And then moving on to the rookies, start the 3 Gazi, 3 Psychemon. Pretty standard, they're the floodgates. Gazi is very important against Alpha, and Psychemon is really important against D-Reaper, and as well as Beelstar and security control. And then Salamon's a new addition to the deck. It lets you dig top 4 and then find a 2-color purple card. So basically letting you dig 4 to find your Gatomon or your Mastemon, and that's super important. Just adds a lot more consistency to the deck now that it's available to be used. And then we run 1 BlackGatomon, just a 1-of, and it can be played off a level 6 that we will talk about later very effectively, and it just lets us go for game more easily. I didn't play it in my previous EX2 list because the meta didn't really demand you to, didn't force you to lethal the turn or get lethal the next turn. Like you could usually recover or out lethal in some way, but in this format, there's a lot of situations where you have to end your opponent like this turn, or else you just die the next turn. 4 Gatomon, pretty standard, the most powerful card in the deck. For BT3 LadyDevimon, we don't play the starter deck LadyDevimon anymore because the new edition Maycrackmon Vicious Mode. 2 Lucemon is pretty standard. Lets you pop Tamers, which is super important. Pop Metal Guru X, which is really important. It's not as good this format as it was in previous formats because there's cards such as Greymon X and Doru Greymon that protect their stack from getting deleted, but you still need it. And then Maycrack is the newest addition to the level 5 lineup. It's very, very strong. So when you play or digivolve this card, you can trash a card, and then depending on whether you trash in a purple or yellow or both, you can minus 3000 DP or delete a rookie, and then you can also do both with that. Basically, this converts your Flame Hellscythe to do 9k, and then also pop a rookie. So it's, yeah, so it lets you clear wide with the Hellscythe. So you could kill 3 bodies with the Hellscythe with Maycrack, or kill a pretty much any level 5 in the game. So for example, promo wear Garurumon swinging at your security, you can it'll often be higher than 6k, so your Hellscythe won't kill it, but you play the Maycrack and you're able to add that extra 3000 DP to kill the promo wear Garu.
That has happened to me at the store championships. That won him the game in a round. It's a pretty strong combo.
Yeah, and then also being able to just pop a rookie on the side too, it's really strong. 3 Magna, pretty standard. You still need to recover this format. It's not +1 recovery isn't as powerful this format because of how many checks your other deck
everything's
do.
OTK this format.
Yeah, so like with Melga can do like what 7 checks in a turn, so like +1's not a huge deal. But being able to like get that 1 above lethal range is always nice. And Angemon is probably the best one to play out of a Hellscythe when Hellscythe is checked in security this format, because -2 security attack will usually save you from the OTK. And then okay, so the spicy megas for the format, so Sakuyamon is a pretty obvious choice right now because of the Mastemon as a deck itself can't really interact with the breeding area, and with every deck coming out of raising and then doing like 5-6 checks and trying to lethal you on that turn, You need to have a way to interact with that, and Sakuya allows you to force your opponent onto the board, and then you can DNA to then pop that stack.
Yeah, this card is absolutely insane. This is like a specific answer to absolutely everything in the format. I play Garurumon, and this thing absolutely checkmates you. Like, if this thing... I can't come out, I can't do my OTK. I have to... Most builds have to come out and remove with their when Digivolving effects. It's like their main way to bounce Sakuya, because a lot of other decks don't really run removal in other Melga builds. So, like, I come out, I try to remove it with my effects, but then you usually have an option, you degrade it away or something, so now I'm super behind. This is a really checkmate card against Garurumon decks.
Yeah, this card might be Tasty's worst enemy.
Yeah, his card's insane into this format. It's really good.
Yeah, if I had space, I would definitely run 2. The one thing to note about Sakuya is that you have to play this card with a little bit of foresight in your play, because a lot of players will default to playing the Lucy off your DNA. But you need to consider situations where do you need that immediate tamer pop? Because if you don't, oftentimes the correct answer is playing the Magna and then going into a Sakuya the turn after, assuming you know they cannot remove the Magna. If they can't remove the Magna and they need that extra turn, going for the Magna over the Lucy and then putting the Sakuya on top will just seal the game a lot of the time. The other spicy one is Titamon. So this is an old favorite card of mine. Throw back to Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, you have a famous profile on this channel, almost 10k views.
But yeah, so I was experimenting with Sakuya, and oftentimes I did still want that follow-up to Lucemon, and Creepy doesn't really have the same impact this format because games aren't as grindy, so you're not trying to mill out your opponent. And especially because Alphamon can just put cards back into its deck, so there's really no point in trying to mill them out. But because of the new Tamer Mayco, which we will further talk about that combo when we get there, there's a lot more ways to go into Titamon without passing turn, and then you can play your Gatomon to extend your plays, or you can play BlackGatomon to do your 2 checks with Taita and then the extra check with Gato, and that can just be a lot of burst damage that your opponent wasn't expecting, especially if you went Angemon under your Mastemon. So now you have Mastemon doing 2 checks, Titamon doing 2 checks, and then Black Gato doing another check.
Oh my god. It's crazy.
Yeah, it lets you be aggressive into the OTK decks, which you need to be able to set them on a timer. Because most of them, a lot of them you can take to the grind game, but if you can kill them, that's just better. So, 4 Matstay, standard. 2 Zwart defeat, pretty standard. Still a good card this format because of your ability to pop Crucial Tamers, especially the red Tamer in Metal Guru decks that run the red package. And some spice in terms of options, I guess, is Jack Raid. This is a card that was suggested to me by Rusty from Australia. Shoutouts to him. So basically, instead of I know a lot of people are playing the 4 Hellscythe 4 Degrade package, which is really strong. I opted to do 4 Hellscythe 3 Degrade and 1 Jack Raid because gaining 2 memory and security is a very strong security bomb. And with not a lot of memory blockers in the format, it's pretty hard to play around Jack Raid. And it is also an extender in your hand, so this card is both good in security and in your hand. Lets you get away with a lot of sneaky plays that your opponent wouldn't expect. And it's online pretty fast in this deck because of the LadyDevi and Meiko. Calling, still standard, you need to get back your resources. 3 purple memory boost. Consistency, memory, does it all. Like, can't have to run mem boost and Maste. Gotta dig for your Gato. 4 Hellscythe. Still really crazy card. Lets you just lethal your opponent out of nowhere if they check it in security and they can't kill you. They check Hellscythe, you play Angemon, they lose their OTK, then you kill them next turn. Happens a lot. And yeah, tasty note.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a really strong card. Still one of the most powerful options in the game, honestly. 3 Chaos Degrade. Not 4 because 4 felt a little too clunky for me. I wanted that extra extender and Jack Raid, but you still need at least 3 Chaos Degrade. Like 4 is still fine. You just need at least 3 because you need your outs to the OTK decks, because otherwise you have no out to Greymon X and you have no out to Alphamon. So you have to run it. 2 Meiko, the new tamer for this set, really good card. If I could, I would run a 3rd copy, but 2 is enough, I think. I was running Analog Youth before, and kinda does the same thing, but lets you is like a permanent purple source on your board, so you have to worry about your colors, like color requirements less, and then also being able to play Gato from cheap is super good. And the combo earlier is that when you Digivolve Titamon and you play a Gato or Black Gato, you can then suspend your Meiko to gain that memory back. So oftentimes, so if you have 1 Meiko on the board, your Tita only costs 3. You have 2, it costs 2. And then combined with your Jack Raid, Mem Boosts, and Memory Tamers, it allows you to consistently get that Tita and not pass turn on it. And even if you do, like, are in a position where you have to go into Tita early, it doesn't suck because you're able to get Gato and then have immediate follow-up. Especially since you can go Lady Devi on top of the Gato you played the next turn, activating your Tita security attack, and then letting you swing for more damage while setting up a DNA at the same time. And then Memory Tamers, 2 TK, 1 Kari. I think TK is a little bit better this format because you need to be faster. Because it's less poke, there's like less risk of your opponent just randomly killing you with TK. Like if it was good, hit a purple and then you die. In an OTK format, I think if they were gonna kill you, they were gonna kill you anyways, and the TK taking a purple card doesn't really matter in that case. So you just want to see that in your opening hand to be able to accelerate your play. But 3 TK is a little bit too much, so we just play the 1 Kari, and the Kari's still good. So, yep, and that's the deck.
Yeah, there's a lot of tech options here. There's like a bunch of 1 and 2 ofs. So like, how did you come to this list where you felt like that was most optimal? Like, are you worried about not seeing some of these pieces with how few copies some of them are at?
Yeah, so I think Maste lists, like by nature, tend to run a lot of 1-ups because you're filtering your deck so much once you see that first Gato. Once you see that first Gato, pretty much your entire deck is accessible to you because of all the filter that you have. There's a lot of like Maste right now is a very toolboxy, I guess, in a sense where you need to have like certain cards for certain situations, and then in other situations those cards don't really do anything, which is why you have to run a bunch of 1-ups.
Okay.
Cards that like you probably would want to see more of in certain cases is probably like the Maycrack. Maycrack comes up a lot into Metal Garuru, and is okay-ish into other matchups. So, but space is tight. So we take the boost in versatility and lower consistency. It's like a trade-off. So when you build your own deck, if you wanted to use this as like an inspiration for your list, you could just simply cut certain 1-ups out that you don't like, and then bump 1-ups up that you like more.
Okay, cool. That's very interesting. So how's the matchups felt in this format? What are the good matchups? What are the bad matchups? What does this deck struggle with in BT9?
I think, so in BT9, this deck is actually pretty good into most of the format. The only issue is against good Alphamon players. Specifically ones that are running at least 2 copies of Congo. Because Congo is able to stop you from DNAing. And it is one of the decks that can actually play through Sakuya. Because if they go Congo and then de-digital your Sakuya, you actually have no way of dealing with their board because you can't DNA and you can't degrade. But into any other matchup in the format, I think this deck is favorable into Metal Garuru. It is solid into Wargrey. Very good into Grandis. and fine into Gaio. Even into decks with like protection, such as Greymon X, Chaos the Great gets you there.
Nice.
And you're able to like build such a wide board that you can threaten lethals. So it's a pretty good deck in the format. I would say it's about like a 1.5 tier deck. And don't fall for the Ordine cope.
So what's the problem you think with Ordine? It's just way too slow?
Yeah, so Ordine is very slow. So you could make Ordine plays very fast by slamming the Raguel at 1 security. But that involves you being at 1 security and not dead, and also passing your opponent anywhere between like 12 and, I guess, depending on the amount of Meikos you have. It clears wide boards, which aren't really present in the format. And then the other issue is that Masse already pops 2 bodies. So by the time you get your Ordine out, you're not really popping all that much and recovering all that much. You also require the combination of 2 level 6 Digimon. I think in this format you would rather have 2 level 6 Digimon than a singular Ordine. And the card unfortunately just gets outshined by Dexmon and its very own role at clearing wide boards. Like if you had trouble with wide boards, you would just play Dexmon over Ordine, because Dexmon is a 1-card inclusion played from hand that is able to clear a wide board, whereas Ordine requires a somewhat significant investment of a package where you need, let's say, 1 or 2 Ordine and then some amount of Raguel and Ofani to make like a super efficient. So it's just a heftier package with a lower payoff than Dexmon.
Okay, wow, very insightful. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for that insightful profile, Haze. It's really in-depth and it gives me a good idea of like what to expect from this deck in the BT9 format. Do you have any closing thoughts on your profile?
Yeah, so I would say that to all the Master players out there, this is a tough format, but it gets better. BT10 is looking pretty good for Mastemon.
Yeah, invest now.
So, invest now for sure. Your worst matchup is Alpha. Everything else is either favorable or like playable, like or 50-50 kind of thing.
Awesome. Thank you, Haze. Thanks for coming on. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. See ya.